I don't know if anyone killed Gloria Satterfield, but I've learned a lot recently about what happened in the aftermath of her death.
My name is Mandy Matney, and this is the Murdaugh Murders Podcast.
I first reported about the Gloria Satterfield settlement in 2019 as I was investigating the deaths of Mallory Beach and Stephen Smith. Several of my sources in Hampton County made comments along the lines of, "But did you hear about the housekeeper?" There were rumors that the Murdaughs were involved in the death of their housekeeper. Then one day, I was looking through court records and found a $500,000 wrongful death settlement for Gloria Satterfield, where Alec Murdaugh was listed as the only defendant. Gloria Satterfield was the Murdaugh's housekeeper and nanny for more than 2 decades. I found that this settlement was odd for a couple of reasons. And again, this was way back in 2019. Alec Murdaugh's best friend, Corey Fleming, was the lawyer representing the Satterfield family, which would be Corey suing his best friend. Later, I realized that Judge Perry Buckner, who was a well-known friend of the Murdaugh family, who also recused himself from the boat crash just a few months after this, approved the settlement. Attorney Eric Bland first told me that he was representing Gloria Satterfield's 2 sons who say they never received any settlement money. So when I wrote the story last week, the only public document associated with this case stated that Alec Murdaugh's insurance provider agreed to a petition for $505,000 for personal liability in Satterfield's wrongful death.
This woman worked for the Murdaugh household for 25 years. She was in the hospital for 3 weeks after apparently the dog, caused her to fall down the stairs and have a closed head traumatic brain injury. The Murdaughs didn't pay for her funeral, which is, just tells me a lot about them as a family.
Gloria's obituary noted that she loved Alec, Maggie, and Alec's parents, Randolph and Libby Murdaugh, as family, although we don't know who wrote her obituary. So after I wrote that story, things started developing in this case very rapidly, and here's why. But the truth ended up being very ugly. We immediately started receiving texts from sources that said that the Satterfield settlement was much, much higher, in the millions. It appeared that a lot of lawyers knew about that, and no one said anything until this dismantling of the good old boy system started to take place. The next day, September 15th, 2021, Eric Bland and his law partner, Ronald Richter, filed a lawsuit alleging civil conspiracy and stolen funds in connections with the 2018 Gloria Satterfield settlement. The lawsuit was filed against Alec Murdaugh, Corey Fleming, and others involved in the settlement, including Fleming's law firm Moss, Kuhn & Fleming, Chad Westendorf, who was the banker listed as the representative of Satterfield's estate in the Palmetto State Bank, which is a financial institution where Westendorf worked. The lawsuit revealed further details in this alleged conspiracy to steal money from Gloria's family. Basically, Fleming convinced Gloria's sons that they needed to have a banker work as their personal representative of their mother's estate. He's saying here that Fleming and Murdaugh did this in their scheme so that Fleming would only be legally obligated to communicate with Westendorf. They did not have to tell Gloria's sons about what was happening with the settlement money.
And so on December 18th, Westendorf was approved to be the PR. The very next day, on December 19th, they filed that petition for a $505,000 settlement. My clients were never aware of that.
So as soon as the Satterfield boys were no longer entitled to communications with Corey Fleming, his petition for a $505,000 settlement was filed. Who was the judge involved in all of this? That would be South Carolina Circuit Judge Perry Buckner, who recused himself from the 2019 boat crash just months later because of his ties to the Murdaugh family.
2 months goes by. Obviously, the boating accident happened in February of 2019.
Let me be clear here. The 2019 fatal boat crash that killed Mallory Beach changed everything about the Murdaugh family. They were able to do things under the table and under the radar before the boating accident, which pushed them into the media spotlight.
In March, they settled for $4,305,000.
So are you following this? That is a big deal.
The money is going to be paid to the PR, to Chad Westendorf. It's not going to be paid to Corey Fleming, the lawyer. The check is going to be made out to the personal representative of the estate of Gloria Satterfield.
But here is where it gets weird and complicated.
He requested that they change the court caption without court approval to take his name off it. The next thing you look on at that petition is there's no court term number. There's no live case.
Oh, my God.
There's no 2020 CP 40-0312.
Oh, my. Yeah, I've never seen that.
The next thing you look at on that petition is it's not filed. It's signed by Chad Westendorf, but it's not filed with the court.
Okay, so this is really weird. I have seen hundreds of settlements and lawsuits and all sorts of court documents in South Carolina, but I've never seen this. It appears that Alec convinced the court to take his name off of the settlement, which is a luxury that most South Carolina citizens do not have when they admit fault in a wrongful death of another human being. But what's interesting about this is that his name was taken off the books right around the time of the fatal boat crash when he was in the spotlight.
The beneficiaries have to sign off that they're going to get their money over time instead of all at once. None of that was done.
Mm-hmm.
So the check is made out to Forge. Alec Murdaugh gives him a P.O. box where it's sent to. The check goes in the P.O. box. Alec Murdaugh opened up a bank account at Bank of America under the name of Forge, got the check, cashed it, and walked away with the money.
So what Eric Land is saying here is absolutely appalling. He's basically saying that two prominent attorneys in South Carolina were able to do the scheme to steal from a grieving, hardworking family who deserve money from their mother's death